Hey guys, in today's video I'll be talking about Tropical Storm Claudette, which pretty much just formed over Louisiana, which is very interesting. It was a potential tropical cyclone for the past like 2 days, so it took a long time for it to really develop its low-level center and everything and to allow the National Hurricane Center to upgrade it to a tropical storm. But now it's a tropical storm with sustained winds currently at 45 miles per hour and a pressure at 1,006 millibars. It's moving pretty fast to the north-northeast at 12 miles per hour and brought heavy rain and flash flooding to areas such as New Orleans, southeast Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and it will continue as we look at the current forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. It will continue towards the general north and east and go off the Carolina coast and then potentially reform back into a tropical storm and start heading probably rapidly to the northeast or northeast, and potentially maybe brush portions of the New England coast and go potentially right over Nova Scotia and dissipate likely by Wednesday or so, or somewhere around this upcoming Wednesday. It will likely become a post-tropical cyclone by tomorrow, and then by Tuesday. It'll take until probably around late Monday or into Tuesday for it to regain fully tropical storm status. So let's look at the flash flooding potential, right, because that's a huge risk. Let's go back here, and this is generally day 1 through 3, just in general. You can see New Orleans is out of that slight or moderate flash flooding. They were in the slight. I believe they possibly were just within the moderate yesterday. But you can see New Orleans is no longer in the slight or moderate risk for flash flooding. It's only in the marginal risk for flash flooding, which means they have a 5% chance still of flash flooding. But places like Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham, Atlanta, they have between a 10 to 20% chance of flash flooding in the red. That's the moderate risk. That's a 20% chance of flash flooding. And if you're in the yellow slight risk, it's a 10% chance of flash flooding. So lots of Alabama and Georgia, and even extending into South Carolina and North Carolina currently, are going towards Sunday, Monday, have a slight chance of flash flooding. So watch out for heavy rainfall, flooding on roadways anywhere, really. The potential rainfall totals, you can see right over the very, very western portions of the Florida Panhandle. They could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rainfall. Mobile could see still another 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Atlanta could see between 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. Birmingham, again, could see 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Montgomery could also see 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. And then extending, and that 2 to 4 inches of rainfall extends very, very far from around Tallahassee through Mobile, and then all the way up towards Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's a very, very large area for at least potentially minor to moderate flash flooding, and definitely major flash flooding if you live within those yellow to orange shaded areas for total rainfall. Storm surge is in fact a threat with Claudette, and it could bring, it probably already has brought at least a few feet of storm surge to areas in Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. 2 to 3 feet of storm surge is the peak amount of storm surge forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and that's for very, very southeastern Louisiana within Lake Pontchartrain, right near New Orleans. 1 to 2 feet of storm surge, 2 to 3 feet as well, extending towards Mississippi and Alabama's coastline into Mobile Bay. Again, 2 to 3 feet of storm surge, 1 to 2 feet of storm surge as you get towards the Florida peninsula, the Florida Panhandle. So again, watch out for both freshwater flooding from rainfall and as well as saltwater flooding from storm surge. So that's definitely something to look out for. Now let's look at the models, and I'll show you what the GFS, CMC, and European models are showing, because There seems to be some potential, especially if we look at the CMC and European models. The GFS model, as we bring it towards the Carolinas and towards the East Coast, it just falls apart as the front comes through and pulls it away. So the GFS model really doesn't show much of any huge impacts for anywhere else on the East Coast after the Claudette fully moves inland and towards the Carolinas and East Coast. Now, let's show you the CMC model, and the CMC model shows it going off the Carolinas and then starting to reform off the northeast, mid-Atlantic, and New England coast, and then is pulled away by the front, and the front could bring some rain and thunderstorms, potentially some severe weather to the New England area and northeast in general towards Tuesday, which will be very, very interesting and something we'll also have to watch as well. Now let's show you the European model, and let's change this to the vorticity. Now let's bring the European model up, and you can see the European model surprisingly has it really winding up again with vorticity as it heads through the Carolinas and offshore of the East Coast, and has a pretty decently formed tropical system off of the Virginia, North Carolina coastline by this is around 8 p.m. On Monday evening, and then it shoots off towards the north and east away from the U.S. and towards Nova Scotia and out into the Atlantic. So definitely we're going to have to really, really watch what Claudette does as it gets towards the Carolinas and off the East Coast, because that's actually honestly still a huge question mark as models are all over the place. The GFS shows really nothing happening once it gets towards that point in time, and the CMC and European model, especially the European model, as you can see right now, they both show the potential of it reforming and becoming reforming back into a tropical storm, so that'll be definitely something to really watch out for as we head towards the end of this weekend into the early part of this upcoming week. Now, this is the third named storm of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And yeah, we've already gone through 3 named storms by this point. Tropical Storm Bill is still the strongest named storm of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season thus far at 60 miles per hour with a pressure of 998 millibars. But again, this is still very, very early on in the season. We're still in June. We're still within the first official full month of the Atlantic hurricane season. Of course, the Atlantic hurricane season starts now on May 15th. Or sorry, no, it doesn't. It still starts on June 1st. The National Hurricane Center starts putting out their regular tropical weather outlooks for tropical systems in the Atlantic on May 15th. Man, it's honestly confusing me at this point with what they're doing now with issuing tropical cyclone watches and warnings and forecasts in the Atlantic now. This is starting this year. But again, Tropical Storm Claudette is actually the first tropical system of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season to directly impact the United States. So we're already at that point, which is pretty interesting. And we'll see how much flooding damage Claudette brings to especially the Gulf Coast of the United States, the Gulf Coast states. And we'll see what happens with how much flooding it brings and how much damage it causes potentially because of that. Of course, we had Tropical Storm Anna form in May, making the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season the 7th consecutive Atlantic hurricane season to start early before the official start on June 1st. And then within June, we've had Tropical Storm Bill and Claudette so far. So we've already had 3 named storms. Most 2021 Atlantic hurricane season official forecasts are calling for it to be a pretty active one, at least slightly above average compared to the new averages of 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. Of course, it definitely doesn't look to be anywhere as active as last year, which was just insane. And then also incredibly insane that we didn't get a single Category 5 hurricane out of last year's amount of activity. But, in any case, 2020's Atlantic hurricane season was just one hell of a season that no one will ever forget anytime soon. But in this Atlantic hurricane season, I don't think will be anywhere to that level. But of course, it only takes one tropical system to make that Atlantic hurricane season in general an active one or a memorable one at that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. We'll come back tomorrow and throughout into this new upcoming week to track Claudette with you guys to see what Claudette does. If it does reform off the East Coast, that'll be very, very interesting, and I'll definitely be covering that for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it informative. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, like the video down below. Comment down below what you guys think about Claudette. It formed over land over Louisiana. That's when the National Hurricane Center named it, which was very interesting to me. Yeah, please comment down below what you guys think about Claudette and what you guys think Claudette may do in the future going into the early part of this upcoming week off the East Coast. And as well, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please consider subscribing if you do like these kinds of videos. If you like tropical-related videos, I'll do tons of that throughout the rest of this year's hurricane season, so please subscribe if you haven't already, if you like that kind of content. And if you're already subscribed, please make sure those bell notifications are on for my channel so you get future updates and videos for any kind of major weather events that are going on. Again, hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. Please consider liking the video down below. Let's have a nice, respectful, yet lively discussion down there in the comments section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.